up? Welcome to the Boss of Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Curt still. But before I get this thing going, I want to say a very special happy Veterans Day to all my fellow brothers and sisters in arms today, man. Celebrate, go get your free food, man. And thanks to everyone for honoring our service to this great nation. But on today's show, we recap the Lions' thrilling 26-23 come from behind victory last night versus the Houston Texans on Sunday Night Football. But do us a quick favor, like the video and share with other Lions fans like yourself. If you enjoy the content and you keep coming back to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. We're on our way to 2,500 subscribers, and we are currently at 2482. Now it's time to bring in my co-host for today's show, man. We was all about to have a stroke yesterday watching this game in the group chat, man. We was chopping it up, man. But you know, we stayed pat. You know what I'm saying? We was like, this game is winnable. This game is winnable. First off, man, y'all know who it is. It's the ladies' pet, the men's regret. You ain't seen nothing yet. The highest player from the Himalayas. It's my man, Yaktown's finest, LL Cool Tones. What's going on, my guy?
Good morning, y'all. Could barely see you. The lights is real bright.
Yeah, man. I bet you, man. We are running on fumes this morning, man. And y'all know who it is. It's the hardest working man in Jackson, Michigan, man. He write rhymes. He coach kids. He cooks meals. He cut fades. He run fades. It's my man, the Wolverine. Who?
Hey, I felt like Britney Spears last night in that first video. Like that's what my chest was doing right there. Coach Mike Jones, what's going on, Lion fans?
Man, if you're new to the channel, you know how our show works, man. We look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, or takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up. If we disagree, we say they are balled on. And we give our takes or reasons why we agree or disagree. No hot takes here. We don't just argue for the sake of arguing. We give our true thoughts and opinions about what's going on with our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. So let's look at the topics for today's show. We're going to talk about the offense versus the Houston Texans, that defense, that stifling second half defense versus the Houston Texans. And, you know, we're going to name our bossed up, balled out, and balled on. Because somebody, man, they balled on themselves yesterday. Players of the game. Right. So, first of all, we're going to kick it on over to the offense, man. And my man, LL Cool Torres, man, talking about his friend. All right, what you got?
They ain't my friend.
Right. Oh, it ain't Charles Powell today, huh? But you know, I just put that up there because you know it's just exemplary everything that we've been saying this whole season, especially me. You know, they just bounced back from it. Y'all's friend gave the ball away 5 times. Tried to give away a couple more times. They dropped a couple of them, you know, but we were able to pull that thing out of there, man. You know, in spite of Jared Goff, you know, all of those were not his fault. I don't really care what Dan Campbell said. He tried to blame J-Mo as well. He was like, yeah, if he ran a little angle, I don't really care. He had to stop for that ball. If you put it out there, as Shannon Sharp used to say, you walk it to him a little bit, that was 6. But whatever, you know what I'm saying? 5 interceptions overall, but we were able to come on back. And at no point in this game, at least for me, it didn't seem like we was out of this game. It seemed like we could always win that game. And, you know, luckily we came back and did that. You know, large in part 2, you know, that best running back duo in the land. And then Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic got off a little bit more in this one, but I think Knuckles was just as important. He kept the momentum going. He kept our physicality going. And you know, he was out there hitting people, doing all types of stuff. You know, the game really swang on that swing, or I don't want to call it a screen, but I guess a swing pass out to him. We had the blockers in front of him. You know, he that was really just like a big, at least in my opinion, that was a big. I think the momentum necessarily wasn't on the other side, but it definitely helped us on our side. And to the tune of those two, Jahmyr Gibbs had 19 carries for 71 yards, and David Montgomery had 12 carries for 32 yards. Especially again, David Montgomery numbers does not sound as important as they actually were. And then, you know, the midway, I don't know, I don't have a fun way to say that. I was going to try to make something out of those two. Being able to dominate the middle as they did. But, you know, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta is starting to get a little bit more healthier, I guess. He had got hurt in preseason or training camp, one of the two, early in the season, whatever it was. But he hasn't had the same impact as some people believe that he should have had. or some people were expecting, I guess. He didn't really have that big a game. He only had 3 catches for 66 yards, but one of those went for a touchdown. It was a long of 37 yards. Of course, Amon-Ra St. Brown caught 6 of them for 60 yards, I believe that is. And a touchdown. And then one that was another little screen or swing pass out to him where we can just let our guys get in front of him, and he did the rest. But I was going to try to phrase that as like the good, the bad, the ugly somehow. We already know what the ugly was. The bad was going to be bad in a good way, and that's Sonic and Knuckles. And then there was a good, bad, and the ugly. And then the good was would be Amon-Ra St. Brown and Samuel Laporta. So what do you guys think about that offensive output, I guess?
All right. So, yeah. Well, I mean, come on, man. What it is, man. It is what it is, man. A similar thing happened to Jared Goff last season. You kind of remember. He went weeks without throwing an interception after a rough start to the season, and he threw 2 against the Cowboys. Kind of same thing happened yesterday. I really don't count that Hail Mary as an interception. It was a non-factor. But this week, I'm calling him Jared Goff. He'll get JG back next week. I mean, he just had a bad game. So I will say this, you know what I'm saying, and I'll pick it up on it later, man. That just was a bad game. Sometimes you have them back. I mean, good quarterbacks have bad games sometimes. So I mean, it is what it is. Didn't stop the win though. All right, the running back settled the team down though, and it was behind Penei Sewell. You look at some of those big plays, especially those swing passes and those outside lane run. You had Sewell out there blocking the way, and I don't understand why they were trying to run a skipper side at all. I mean, why would you run to his side? I don't understand that. You run to his side when he's next to Sewell. If he's not next to Sewell, you don't run to his side. God, this is his first start at left tackle ever in the league. So, but you got the best right tackle in the NFL. And he's the best run blocking tackle in the NFL. You use that guy, and you see what happened. Those running lanes opened up on the outside, and Sewell had that key block on the outside on that screen pass to that called a tunnel screen to St. Brown for the touchdown. You look at that, man. Sewell had a good impact on that offensive line. He just held it down with his running mate Taylor Decker being out for the game. And I'll add one more name to the list of pass catchers, J-Mo. Man, some of those contested catches he made. He kept some of those drives moving. He didn't get that deep touchdown because Goff was just having that bad day. But he made some clutch. He was a clutch when he needed to be for Jared Goff, man, making some contested catches. My thing is J-Mo stepped up. He wasn't asked to do much, but when he made some tight catches. That last catch, man, he made, that lit his ass up. But he went to the sideline for a couple of plays and he came back in. But what you got, Coach Jones?
He's stronger. He got stronger. Hamstring ain't being no more. I'm gonna give that a boss up too, man. And you know what? I'm Ben Johnson, man. I almost kicked your ass last night. You almost made Knuckles a non-factor, and but I'm glad that Sonic and Knuckles returned in the second half. Thank God they returned, man. They just. I'm just glad, man. And then the 5 INTs by Jared Goff. Wow, I'll say 4. And you know what's a funny stat that I looked up is the last QB to manufacture a win throwing 5 picks was Matt Ryan in 2012. Yeah, so I googled. I'm like, has a quarterback ever won a game throwing 5 interceptions? Yeah, they actually have. Actually, a quarterback won throwing 7 picks. So, Jared Goff, man, I just feel like he was never in rhythm, man, and he just, listen here, Ben Johnson, don't do that shit no more. Run the ball, Knuckles first, okay, Knuckles first. Don't have Jared Goff out there because Sean McVay tried to do that and he got frustrated with Jared Goff and it's because that's just not his game. That's not him. He can get away with that once or twice a season. That's not him. Stop doing that. And Sam Laporta and St. Brown, man, I gotta come up with a name for them because they eat. They eat up that field. They are the slashers. They get it, man. Then St. Brown, them little whip routes, man, them little in outs, them little Man, he bringing ankles out there, man. And Sam Laporta finally became a factor, man. So like I said, I'm gonna give you a boss up, man. And yeah, Ben Johnson side, no, you don't want the bully on your ass, boy. You better stop calling games like that.
Yeah, the one thing I would say that route that had St. Brown, they got that at the end of the game, they got that last first down. He put that, I don't know what they did was thinking about putting that linebacker on him. He had his ass in the blender. Definitely. I was like, oh shit, man, that was like that wasn't even close. But you look at this the offense, man. I have to give the Texas defense some credit because they had us on skates that whole first half, and they was flying around. And funny thing, before we move on, I watched the Madden sim from Pride of Detroit, and guess who was the big player of the game? Because on that sim, the Texas won. It was Petrie was the player of the game, and he showed
was
out.
all over.
That dude showed out, man. Hey, but like the video, share the video, comment on the video. Audiences help us get this content to more Detroit Lions fans like yourself. All right, time to talk about defense. Coach Jones, what you got?
First and foremost, man, now I understand why AG last year was rated the best coordinator to most likely get a job and be successful. Because AG, man, we finally put defense as a priority. In the offseason, you see what paid off, man. So Carlton Davis, man, wow, that dude knows how to. He changed the tide of that game. Really, he really did. He changed the tide of the game where he had two no thank yous. You know what I'm saying? 2 picks, and one of them was in the end zone when they could have scored. So man, Carlton Davis, man, he was making plays in the run game too. He was put that shoulder on your homeboy. Carlton Davis, man, that dude, man, right there. Salute. I'm so glad we got him, man. He is a CB1. Joe Mixon was shut down. I swear over. And Joe Mixon was actually, like I said in the pregame, Joe Mixon was one of 3 rushers in the NFL that averaged over 100 yards a game. This game he had 25 carries for 46 yards. His longest was 8 yards, and he had 1 touchdown. That boy had a 1.8 yard average a carry.
Don't bring that to him.
Yeah, man, them boys out there, they was shutting it down, man. That was led by Leem, and Leem was punking them guards, man. He was. You know what I'm saying? He was punking them guards, man. He had a
run back of their head.
And lastly, but not least, Brian Branch is the best safety in football, hands down. He is, hands down. There's not even no comparison. There's nobody even close to Brian Branch. He can play on a slot receiver. He can play on an outside receiver. He can come up in the run game. He can do it all, man. He can do it all. That tip that he had in the first half when he on the route and he got in front of him, man, and tipped, man. That Brian Branch is all over the field, man. He's the first team All-Pro player, man. I'm just gonna say it like it is, man. But do y'all got something to say? But I know y'all got. I'm gonna get myself a boss up. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get bossed up on those too, man. For real. You ain't gotta be there by yourself. One thing I saw what a nugget is there's a picture of Carlton Davis in the press box at NRG Stadium last year on the worst of his career. Last year, he had the worst day of his career. CJ Stroud, when they played the Bucs last year, had 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. Sunday Night Football. What did they say? He got his lick back, man. It was his first multi-interception game of his career. Both picks in that second half helped set the tone for the defense, especially coming out of halftime. That was a key. Even though we gave it right back to him, that kind of set the tone for the defense. It helped it. And then the Lions run defense, man, they were back to their usual standard against Joe Mixon, one of the best. He's been one of the best running backs in the league this year. I mean, I love how that defense swarmed to the ball. They smothered Nixon for most of the game. They had Buddy throwing his helmet and slamming tablets on the sideline. He was like, man, that's some bullshit. And I'm going to add one name who had a good game yesterday, and it's LL's friend. James Houston had a good game. He was in CJ Stroud's face a lot. He got a sack and a tackle for loss. Shout out to James Houston, man. That's what I'm talking about. And you add and you're gonna add Zadarius Smith to this roster, man. We're gonna have a good second half of football for the Detroit Lions. What you got, LL?
James Houston. No. But yeah, no, excellent game. From the guys, man, they held them scoreless in the second half, man. That was much needed. Much needed. That was the only way that the offensive side could do anything, because the defensive side held them down, man. Big shout out, of course. I thought that Big Broderick would be the key to unlock Aleem. Of course, we all said that once they signed DJ Reader, because they're gonna serve the same purpose. But I say DJ Reader had a good game because Aleem McNeil was able to just get them one-on-ones. This morning on NFL Network, as I was getting up this morning, we're getting ready to come and sit down and do this. It was on TV, and I just seen a couple of those plays where, each time where they were sending an extra man over on that side to DJ Reader, Aleem McNeil was right in somebody's face every single time. And I love to see it. Love to see it. I do you one better on Brian Branch, man. He said he's the best safety in the league. I watched a lot of football yesterday. He was looking like one of the best defensive players in the league. Man, it's looking real good, man. He is on. He don't look like Troy Polamalu. I know everybody's throwing comparisons around. I don't think he looks like Troy Polamalu. He has his own, like he's his own. He's a Brian Branch, but he's, I guess, in that mode or something. Like it's beautiful to see, man. It's beautiful to see.
Brian Dawkins.
I said that because
Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, everybody.
If I forget, he did something. That's why I said, man, he out here acting like Brian Dawkins. He need to chill, but that wasn't in a good way. Even though Brian Dawkins was one of the absolute best, one of my favorite players of all time. He was a crazy person. So I don't know if I want Branch out here like that. But no, man, it's a good game by the defense, man. Boss up to Mike Jones and his points there.
Yeah, Brian Dawkins was like, he was one of them cussing Christians. He be praising God one minute and cussing,
trying to put you in the dirt the next.
The next. He was like that, man. He was like that. Brian Dawkins was like that, and Brian Branch is like that right now.
I just want to let y'all know that if y'all want to rewind the tapes, you can rewind them. On the pregame show, I said 29-23 was the score.
I said 34.
But you was wrong.
I know it was 26-23.
But I think we all took the over though, and it was right at the over. It was 23 at 49 points, so 48 and a half. So if you bet the over, you was good yesterday. All right, definitely. All right, let's look at the boss up ball out players of the game, man. Of course, we're on the offensive side of the ball. We're gonna say it's Sonic and Knuckles. All right, here's what they did. They combined for 164 total yards and a touchdown. David Montgomery, 12 carries, 32 yards, and that touchdown. One reception, 24 yards. That kind of broke that game open, and that kind of got that drive going in the second half. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, 19 carries, 71 yards, and he had 2 receptions for 37 yards out there on the edge with my man Sewell leading the way. All right, boss up ball out player of the game for defense. Gotta be Carlton Davis III, man. 4 tackles, 2 interceptions, man. And he was like, man, this is my house now. And gotta be kicker Jake Bates for special teams, because I gotta get him on there, man. 2 for 2, 58 yards and 52 yards, and he kissed the rim on both of those things. Like he kissed the uprights. He just like slid them things right in that thing right there. But man, he did his thing yesterday, man. And of course, man, the ball on player of the game who balled on himself yesterday for a little bit, Jared Goff, man, 15 for 30. That's 50%. From a guy that went from 80% to 50%, that's a big drop. 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. This is the worst game I've seen Jared Goff play. But to his credit, this is his thing to be to his credit, because I gotta say he played a bad game. Because if I give him the praise, I gotta give him the hit upside the head when he needed. But one thing I will say, he stayed the course. He led the Lions to 19 unanswered points in the second half, but you can't throw 5 picks and expect to win. So this is one of those anomaly games. I just think that, he has had a bad game, man, but he stuck with it in that second half, because some coaches, think about this. Some coaches would have, if a different coach from Dan Campbell you probably would have seen Hendon Hooker in that second half
Mm-mm.
because of all the interceptions. So some
If he
coaches
was
would do
Matt
that. You know what I'm
Patricia,
saying?
Matt Patricia would.
Yeah, but some coaches would do that. If their starters having a bad day, they try to switch it up. But they stuck with Jared Goff, and he stuck with the game plan, and he got that victory. That big tunnel screen and those screen passes at the end in that second half, man. He finally got into rhythm, and he ended up winning that game. Winning that game for the Lions, man. So, what you guys got on players of the game? Would you add somebody else?
No. You know what? I will add in because this dude is just a quiet assassin. Jack Campbell, man. He quietly is like one of the top linebackers in the league, man. And I just want to add him in there, man, because he get lost in the good play by the back end, the good play by the front end. And Anzalone, because his hair flying all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
Jack Campbell, man, he got to get something one of these days, man, because he just be playing.
Yeah, I agree with that. He had that nice pass breakup in that second half too, where that Schultz was on the sideline and he went to make that pass, that catch, and Campbell knocked out his hand. That was a good play. Jack Campbell was all over the field, but Brian Branch, man, led the team in tackles.
Yes.
Man, yeah. Branch was he was on his thing. But Carlton Davis, man, he set that tone in the second half. That's why I picked him. Those 2 interceptions, man, he set that tone for the defense in the second half of the game. All right, hey, like the video, share the video, comment on the video. All these things help us get this content to more Detroit Lions fans just like yourself. If you don't do so already, make sure you follow the crew on your favorite social media platforms. My man, Coach Jones, does a great job over there on Wolverine Sports Talk. I post content on all of my channels from this show on my social media. And LL, he does a great job, man. It was a thirsty weekend over there, his Instagram page, man. So go check that thing out. He does his thing. Now it's time for parting shots for today's show. I'm going to let Coach Jones go first, man. Thank you for starting your Victory Monday and Veterans Days right here on the Boss Up All Out podcast. What you got, Coach Jones?
To those family members and friends who try to call me and I answer, I just want to let you know that I was in my zone. I didn't feel like hearing nothing from nobody. My cousin Ali called me. My dad called me. My sister called me. I was like, I'm not talking to none of y'all right now. That's how serious I be in the game. And I'm like, I love y'all though. But Lions, man, y'all scared of brother. Y'all have my heart. Britney Spears and man, good win though, man. Because as of now, if we can win the game when Jared Goff those 5 interceptions, I don't think we lose another one.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see another. I don't see another game when we ain't favored. I agree with that 100%. What you got, LL?
Well, it's a lot of names I would throw out there just to give a couple shout outs, man. But y'all gave a couple of them, Brian Branch and Jack Campbell, Josh Pascal, Amik Robertson. TA had a good game, Sub-Zero, but except for that penalty they didn't call. Levi, Makai Wingo, Ben Neiman made a play. Trevor Nowaski made a big play. Sione Ibaki made that big special teams play, man. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to the fans, man. It was a good game, dog. Like I said, and I don't know if that's just my blind confidence, but I never felt like, this game is just over with, even though Jared Goff was trying his best to give it away. So shout out to the Lions, man. Happy Victory Monday to those who celebrating. It's Veterans Day. Hopefully your job, if you off today, it's a lot of deals out there. Go find you some. But if not, should be an easy day for you at work. And enjoy however you do. Put something in the air, have you a nice sip like that boy Curt be drinking, be sipping some of that good brine. Speaking of that good brine, I know we ain't going, the bet is off. I just want to bring this up right now. Coach Mike, you know what it is. Shout out to Marcus Davenport.
And definitely for me, man, thank you for starting your week off with us right here at the Boss Up All Our podcast, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. My thing is, one quick shout out, man, is like this team is built to win and they built to handle adversity. And everybody talk about all the injuries that were on talking about Nico Collins and Will Anderson. Hell, we're missing our best pass rusher. We missing our best starting linebacker at Derek Barnes, one of them.
One of our best offensive linemen.
One of our best starting left tackle was out. So all that stuff about injuries, sminjuries, man, I don't hear that crap. The Lions went in there and won, and we went. What they say? Walk your trap, take over your trap. So that's
Shout out
what
to
we
Dan
did
Skipper too.
last night.
Like
Yeah,
Debo, told him to sleep.
and Dan Skipper held it down, man,
Go to
because
Go to
with
sleep.
all those interceptions, they didn't sack Jared Goff one time. They pressured him, but they didn't sack him.
I seen somebody on Twitter had asked that, and I was like, man, this guy's normally one of the number one Jared Goff supporters. How could he ask such a question? But it was like, man, how could you not be sacked at all and throw all these interceptions?
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
That jiu-jitsu back because I ain't giving it to him.
Yeah, he Jared Goff this week. He might be JG back next week, but he Jared Goff right now. Hey, thank you guys for checking us out right here, the Boss Up Ball Out Podcast, your home for the organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. Do your man Curt still a favor? Whatever you do in life, you guys to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man LL Cool Torrance and Coach Mike Jones, this is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.